Right, everybody, Manchester United face Everton in what is a huge Premier League game for Amorim. In this video, we'll be talking about 5 things to expect ahead of the game, talking predicted team tactics, result, and much more. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and let's get straight into it. Number 1, changes. It's obvious. Amorim has talked about he will rotate his squad with the game coming every 3 days. We've got Arsenal during the week, and this ultimately is a huge opportunity for some players to get a rest. There definitely will be wholesale changes to this team, maybe 5 or 6 changes, which I'll run through in a moment. I think some players will obviously stay, but there definitely will be rotations in a game like this, which is definitely needed. We can't risk any injuries, and with players coming back, I think rotation will be needed, especially now in terms of rotations. Obviously, Onana will stay in goal, and then you could see Casemiro playing that central centre back position. I think a player with very good capabilities in that position, which will definitely benefit him. I think it will suit him effectively well, and I think he will be a very good player in that position. Central centre-back normally goes into midfield, creating passing lanes. I think he can definitely do that. Right centre-back, Mazraoui will say that he's one of those players who I think can cope with the demands. And I think he will be a fantastic player for United to have. Left centre-back, I think Martinez. I mean, you could see Shaw, but I've just gone with Martinez. I think Martinez is a player who's done fantastically well. He came off with half an hour to go, and I think will be someone who will start this game. Delo will be left wing back, so he will be the change. Malacia will come out. Unfortunately, Malacia struggled in that game against Bodo Glimt. Didn't have the pace, didn't have the intensity, and that's fair enough. I mean, he has been out for a long time, so Delo would be out there. Yes, Delo hasn't been great in that position, but he's the only one we really have available. I don't think Amorim clearly favours him as the left centre back. Our right wing back would be Ahmad. I think Ahmad's a player who's done fantastically well in a game against Ipswich. Obviously against Bodo Glimt, he didn't really have many times to impact the game. Obviously with United being linked to Giovanni Quenda, could he come in? I do like Ahmad. I think he can really have an impact in that role. I think he is very good on the ball, and I think he'll definitely impact the game in the final third. Into midfield, like Bruno played in that more deeper role. I think Bruno can definitely do that role. I think Bruno is a fantastic player, but I think it will be Eriksen and Ugarte. If Mainu's fit, I would put Mainu in there, but I don't think he is 100% fit. I think the Eriksen and Ugarte partnership will be very good, very dynamic, very compact, and I think a very good partnership that can definitely build. Obviously, Eriksen cannot play with Casemiro. I think Ugarte has the legs, and it's important that Eriksen tracks back. In a game we expect United to have loads of possession, I think Eriksen's qualities on the ball will be needed in a game like this. Now the 2 inside forwards, I think will be Bruno in the left inside forward and Mount. I think Rashford and Garnacho will be on the bench. I think there'll be 2 players who start against Arsenal. I think Bruno's a player who Amorim obviously likes and has excelled in that role. I think obviously a bit deeper, he can get on the ball and is more disciplined, but I think the defensive capability is an issue, so I would keep Bruno on the bench I'll start Bruno and Mount. I think Mount's intensity is fantastic, and I think you'll need him in a game against Everton. The underlapping runs and the crosses, and I think Zirkzee through the middle. Højlund, he was finished after the game. He was knackered, which is fair enough. He played the full 90 with a lot of intensity, so I'm assuming he will be out of the game, especially with the game against Arsenal coming up. So I think it will be Zirkzee in that number 9 role. Just want to see something from Zirkzee, whether that's a goal and assist. We know he can do it, but it's all about really showing it at this Manchester United team. So that's the first thing to expect. Number 2, United's threat. Let's talk about him. We scored 3 goals against Bodo Glimt, 1 in 50 seconds. We scored a goal against Ipswich in 80 seconds. United can definitely score early goals, and that's something Manchester United must go out and do. Everton have a team there for the taking. Yes, they haven't conceded in their last 2 games, or last 3 games even, I think. But United should be able to break this Everton team. I think the qualities that we have, we put crosses into the box, we get the high intensity, the centre backs within the ball, the organised press. I think the chances will definitely come. I think that is definitely United's threat. I think in terms of individual players that are a threat in this game, my predicted team, I think it'd be Bruno, and I think Mount, as well as Ahmad, to be fair, as the key threats to really make a position and the attacking way for Manchester United. Now defensively, we need to be able to mark Everton's runners. They have a lot of runners from midfield. They're very good on the ball and put crosses into the box. They've got Dwight McNeil, who I like a lot, very talented player, so we need to be careful for the threats that they have. But I think defensively, I think we're very sound there in midfield. I think Ugarte, Eriksen in there, and I think the attack, listen, we're looking good. Amorim's identity started to come into the team bit by bit, so that's the second thing to expect. Now number 3, Everton's threat. Let's talk about them. Listen, haven't been the greatest. They are, I think, 15th in the league, but they can score goals, and they can create chances. They're a team we shouldn't take for granted. Dyche has been playing away football, which is very intense, very physical, and I think they can definitely score goals. I think Manchester United particularly vulnerable at times when it comes to conceding goals. We look at the two we conceded against Bodo Glimt. Everton are a much more quality team, no offence to Bodo Glimt, than them, and I think they can definitely score on. Everton do certainly have a lot of threats which Manchester United need to look out for. As I said, Brandt rate from corners, the ability to make runs through midfield is relatively strong, and I think that's something Manchester United must look out for throughout the game. Their run through midfield, their constant ability to cause issues is certainly one to look out for in a game against Manchester United, where that's why I've gone with Ugarte and Eriksen in the midfield. I think Ugarte has that legs. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that would be the third thing to expect. Now the fourth thing, Amorim's plan. I think Amorim's plan is to go out to win the game but rotate players and ultimately have an identity. I think with the way that Manchester United played, we're starting to see bits of these principles back into this Manchester United team, which is absolutely fantastic. I think a very, very good manager, and we've seen it. We've seen some of the tactics, some of the formations with the press that we're trying to work with. It is only his third game, so we might not see everything, but again, it's bit by bit building the team one stage at a time with each training sessions, talking with the players, walking it through, rotating, making sure you get the best out of the players, and I think that's what will be his plan to do that. Obviously, he'll be looking ahead, as I mentioned a lot, into the Arsenal game, because that is another, but that really is his big test. So he'll be looking at that. So yeah, that's the Amorim's identity. Now the fifth and final thing, the result. Listen, Everton haven't conceded in their last 2 games. Manchester United have conceded 3 in their last 2 games. And yes, it shouldn't be 2 goals we conceded against Bodo Glimt, but in terms of the result, I think it will be 2-0 Manchester United. I'm hoping we don't concede. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It'd be absolutely fantastic if we can win this game with a clean sheet. I think the defences look solid. It's all about creating those passing lanes, tracking your runners, not getting caught out, sloppy mistakes. I think Everton will create chances, but I think we will have enough to stop them. And I want to see Ahmad, Bruno, whoever starts really, Bruno, Mount, Ahmad, Garnacho, Rashford, all really create chances for that striker, whether that be Højlund, which it most likely will not be, or Xerxes, and ultimately create that opportunity for Manchester United to win this game. But let me know your thoughts. There have been the 5 things to expect from Manchester United's game versus Everton at home, Amorim's second game at home, Amorim's third game in charge at Manchester United, and his first Premier League game at home. I'm hoping Amorim will get the win just for him and the confidence, because that game against Arsenal coming up is a huge game. And yeah, the team will have to do a lot of work. But yeah, let's see what happens. Thanks for watching. Peace.